this a minute, give people a chance to log on. We talked today about training to failure. Are you really training to failure, or are you just training to fail? Hope everyone's having a great Thursday. It's rainy as hell today here in Kentucky. Assuming there is rain in hell, I'm not really sure. Don't want to find out either. All right, YouTube. Talking about strength training to failure in order to put more biscuits on the bar, essentially to get stronger, improve maximal strength. Is it necessary or is it not? I'm going to start by this position. I've trained both of these ways. I've trained hundreds of people in the training to failure camp versus the submaximal, meaning not maximal weights, but accumulating more volume camp. In the camp that I find myself in today as both an online coach and a high strength coach is the latter. I feel like people train to failure too much, and it establishes bad habits. An example of this today is we were working up to a heavy set of 5, and by heavy I mean it should be like an 8 out of 10 in terms of effort. I'm not expecting miracles. I'm not expecting awesome things to happen. I'm just expecting solid reps to happen and establishing a base of technique for these young men. But it sets a 5. I told them off the jump, I said, you miss a rep of bench, you owe me 100 push-ups on the spot. And I say that because I want to establish a culture of not failing, establish a culture of coming in, training, and aim for slight improvements next week, because the more volume you accumulate at a younger age, the greater your outcome is going to be down the road in terms of maximal strength development. There are benefits of training to failure. There are benefits of hitting 1, 3, 5 rep maxes. There are benefits of this. The first is learning how to strain against heavy weights. It's a skill to strain against a weight and conquer it. That's kind of where I end at it. Like, you end up over time increasing your risk for injury by doing that, especially if you're an older guy, you're in your 40s, your 50s. You really, unless you're enhanced, and even then, you can run into some tendon issues. You really just don't need to go to failure. I know it's popularized by Westside Barbell, and I used to live and breathe by what Louis said, and there's a lot of things that I completely agree with Louis with, but this is one that I kind of moved to a different camp several years ago. Submax weights, to me, is an opportunity to grease a lift, to really improve it, to make sure that the surrounding musculature gets the stimulation that it needs. Say we're benching. It gives me the opportunity to hypertrophy the triceps, hypertrophy the delts, hypertrophy the pecs. Get used to a pattern that's set for that particular exercise. Like I say, grease the groove. The more you do it, the better you're going to be. Now, it's not saying you need to go and do 1,000 reps, and 1,000 reps are going to be perfect, because that's asinine. You're going to be completely shot from a volume standpoint there. But there are things that you should do, and I'll tell you, if you're training submaximally, I think that you start in the least advantageous position and start to work your way out. So if bench press is my goal, I want to improve my bench press. What I'm going to do is start with a really difficult version of the bench press, a place that puts me in an opportunity to not have the leverage that I need. So a close grip incline is where I start almost every one of my clients, every one of my athletes, because our triceps need to get stronger, and the upper pecs generally need to get stronger on everybody. So we begin with that close grip incline, and over a 4 to 6 week period, we work from very, very light sets of 5 up to moderate to heavy sets of 3, but not ever aiming for true failure. And then we'll rotate to the next exercise. For me, it's generally going to be a close grip flat bench then. So close grip flat bench is awesome. You're going to be able to put more weight on the bar because now you're in a better leveraged position as opposed to that incline, and your weight's going to start coming on the bar again. And kids are going to get excited, and you yourself are going to get excited. Again, we became fairly light that first week, and we just continued to add weight each week with a goal of adding 5 to 10 pounds on the bar each week until we top out in heavy sets of 3. Again, that's probably a 6-week process. And then we go into a floor press next, because floor press takes your legs out of it. So now you you lose leg drive, and you're going to move into what I call a grip 2. A grip 2 is a thumb without from where the knurling happens. And everybody's different because everybody's hand size is different. Their hand size generally will reflect their bones, the size of their frame and whatnot. So everyone's a little bit different, but everyone's in that same thumb out position. And again, start light. We're at the floor press. We pause every rep, press that rep up, and it helps to grease the groove for the bench press when we get down to it in a couple of weeks, because now we're just going to go full range into a bench press, and we're going to have a much, much higher max than we would have had otherwise, because we've gotten all the other areas much stronger. So that's the benefit of training submaximally and rotating through exercises that just suck. There are exercises that suck, and you are unable to lift the kind of weights that you want to, but there's a reason for it. It's because you have to get stronger in weak areas that people are commonly weak in. The delts are commonly an area for bench press that people are weak in. Triceps are commonly an area where people are weak in the bench press. In squat and deadlift, the low back and the hamstrings are an area that lots and lots of people are just weak in. So these are areas that you got to get stronger in, and the stronger you get, the more your main lift is going to go up, and then you become a badass real fast. But back to the topic, should you maximum? Should you do failure each time? If you're one of my guys, you don't. You test maybe once every 12 weeks. Test an actual 1 rep max. Other than that, I don't want you failing, because again, you set up bad habits for yourself along the way, and bad habits, create worse problems down the road, both in terms of muscle strains, poor technique. If you're always trying to go heavy, if you're always trying to max out, then you're going to lose some of the technique that you could be picking up if the bar was lighter. So that's my answer for today. I don't think that you should train maximally in terms of moving. If you're trying to increase your maximal squat or your maximal deadlift or your maximal bench, I don't think you should go in and max out every week, because it's a path to nowhere. I appreciate you checking in and listening.